And we have a go for auto sequence start. T-minus 17 seconds and countdown. All systems are go. Command start. 2, 1, booster ignition, and liftoff.
It's time to charge up with Victor Pisano.
Welcome to the PowerCast. This is Victor Pisano with Charge Up. We thank you for joining us. Today I want to talk about paying it forward. I recently did a blog called Pay It Forward Like a Leader Should. The reason I did that is I think there's an obligation for those who are in a leadership position, especially once you've done it 10 plus years. I think you have an obligation to help others who are pursuing the same sort of objectives and goals as you. If you look back upon your tenure as a leader, there were probably numerous people along the way that impacted you, who provided you guidance, who steered you in the right direction. It's always good to have a mentor who can think outside the box enough to get you to a point you need to be, to teach you to be creative, to teach you how to lead by example. So that's why today I think Pay It Forward is a very important topic for leadership, especially for today's PowerCast. In the blog I write, the unwritten rule for leaders is that since somebody was willing to help you in your journey, it's your responsibility to pay it forward. So I don't want to stick with the obvious. I think for most of us, we're going to hear that, we're going to read it and think he's talking about mentorship. I need to develop more people within my team. Hey, listen, you do need to. You need to empower those that you manage. You need to give them the self-confidence. You need to give them the motivation, the resources, and the tools to succeed. But I want to take this a step further. I want you to get out of your comfort zone and realize you can go further in your commitment when we talk about paying it forward. Some of the things that I personally have done that have been extremely rewarding to me, where I'm able to apply my skills and knowledge and pass it on, are things like volunteering at a local school. There are great programs regardless of elementary, middle, or high school, depending upon what your interests are, where you can go be a mentor. You can work with these kids. You can go see them once a week. You're able to sit down with them for about an hour, have lunch with them. Or once you get to middle school and high school, there's an actual class. It's half a semester, 1 day a week. And what you do is you go and you not only talk to the class for a brief period of time, but then you talk with your student one-on-one for about 15 minutes. Talk about their grades, talk about what they're doing in terms of pursuing college, helping them figure out what they want to be when they grow up. So I encourage you, contact your local schools, find where you can jump in, be a part of it, contribute to one-on-one. It's a great opportunity. The other thing, look for community-based boards in and around where you live. You can look at your local city council. You can look at your chamber of commerce. There is always a posting for some sort of position where they need volunteers. It's a great way to give back to your community. It's a great way to network. More importantly, the majority of people on these boards are business people as well, so you can learn from them as well. So it's a give and a take, but I think if you can find the right one that correlates with your skills and what you can provide, it can be a win-win situation. Another thing, help a local charity out. We all tend to go to so many charity events. I think we start taking it for granted simply by writing a check, bidding on something at a silent auction. That's the pretty part of it. I'm going to challenge you to take a step forward and volunteer to be on the board of one of those charities. It's critical. They need help. They need professionals with great network abilities, with great business skills to assist them in growing their cause. So go out there and find something. Find a charity that matches up with you. You may have a personal interest already. You may have a loved one that is benefited by one of these charities. Jump into it. Your church may have something that you want to get involved with. Get involved with it, but be patient, find the right fit, and jump into it and give it everything you have. And last but not least, encourage employee volunteerism. You, as a leader, have the obligation to pay it forward. As a leader, you also set the example. Your character and integrity are watched every single moment. If people see you doing these things, why don't you help others? Help others by rising to the occasion, bringing them together, and volunteer your team to do something, whether it's going to the food bank, whether it is a cleanup at a park, whether it's something at a school. Get your team together. It doesn't take long. Even if you sacrifice a few hours once a quarter, it's not only a team building event, but it's also a great way to give back to your community. It's a great way to see the true personalities of the people on your respective team, and it makes them feel good and makes them understand the meaning of Pay It Forward. So I encourage you to look at the blog. Again, that blog is posted and it is called Pay It Forward Like a Leader Should. Because on there, I list for you an example of Fortune magazine put 50 companies, the best workplaces that give back. And when I read this, some of these are amazing to see how much these companies do and the number of employees that participate. It's amazing. Another thing I want to point you to, it's confusing, I'm sure, when you think, what do I do? Where do I go? Where do I volunteer? How do I find out? I'm going to make it easy for you. There's a great website, charitynavigator.org. Okay, again, that's charitynavigator.org. Type in your interests, type in your skills, and all of a sudden there'll be a set of things that pop up. Continue to narrow it down until you find exactly what's right for you. As always, the team at Charge Up thanks you for your support. Don't forget, check us out on all the other social media platforms. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, LinkedIn. Go check out some of the unique content we've got there. Also, go to chargeuptoday.com and subscribe to the newsletter. That's The Wire. It's delivered weekly right to your inbox. Give you a little bit of motivation for the week, a bit of a recap from the previous week, and something to look forward to during the week on what we're going to be providing content-wise for you. So on behalf of all of us at Charge Up, we sincerely thank you for listening. And as always, I'm humbled to lead. Have a great week. And don't forget, my friends, Charge Up.
Roger, we'll stop. That was a picture-perfect end to a top-fuel mission. Everybody, welcome back to Earth.
Thanks for listening to Charge Up with Victor Pisano. Subscribe to the podcast at chargeuptoday.com.